Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here. Welcome back to our program here in Kyiv, Ukraine. Today, you can't believe it, I'm having double P all over again. For the ladies that were here a few months ago when she was with us, I'm sure they will be excited and elated that this lady is back with us because, I had so many messages, so many ladies that were really helped just because of taking care of this topic. So we are doing a review of my family series, and a lot of people, funny enough, don't even know that we have that series there on Facebook. They don't know that we have the series that is actually the biggest series that we have. Is the biggest and the most, is actually it has more videos than all other series. It's called Family Series. Family Series. So I want so I want everybody to go and share this message. Share the message, everybody, and share the message and let us, So if you have not yet exploited that or the family series, go and check for it. Go and look for it. Just go to YouTube and look for Dr. Sunday Adelaja Family Series. Family Series, you will be able to see all the teachings there. Over 100 teachings over there. So, but let's go back to double P right now. Hello, my sister. How are you doing, Pat?
Hello, Pastor Sunday. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I'm fine, and you are looking great as usual.
Thank you. I'm happy. It's a new life, so I'm excited.
Wow, and this is a new year as well.
It's a new year. Nothing's changed for me because I'm doing the things I've been doing every single day.
So you are not you are not a wishful thinker.
No, I'm not a wishful thinker. I don't have New Year's resolutions because I'm just carrying on with what I've been doing.
But most single mothers are hoping for things to change for them in the new year. So they are having resolutions and they go to the mountains and they are fasting 100 days and they are looking for prophets and running after the men of God so that they will bring the husband to them and then make them pregnant and bring them good luck and make somebody to be the father of their children and all kind of things.
My response to that will be, you can yield some result from that, and the likelihood of what you'll get is nothing more of just, a good feeling in your bones, some excitement, some adrenaline, but nothing else apart from that. You just need to do the work and what's necessary. That's what I think.
So you have totally set yourself free from the illusion.
Oh yeah, I'm free from the illusion. And the illusion is, I can't understand it. I can't relate to it anymore because now it's about what I wake up and do every day. It's about what I put in. I remember during the Christmas season for me, most people were getting in touch with me because this was our second Christmas as a family, being led by myself, a single mom, and my two girls. So most people were worried. They were texting, how are you spending Christmas? You're not a family anymore. We're worried about you. And I said, we're fine. We spent Christmas in our pajamas, eating chocolate and just bonding as a family. It was amazing. And we carried on doing the normal things which we've been doing every single day. So nothing's changed for us. We're still a warm, happy, bubbly little family.
Now, that word you use, single mother, is a dreaded word for a lot of women.
That word, particularly in our African background, is a taboo. It's a taboo. It's something to be ashamed of. It's something to be looked down upon. It's something to be questioned. It's something that contains no respect, no honor. It's something that is just like a disgrace to a family. It's like God forbid kind of thing if you can ever be and find yourself in that position. In our African background, that is the labeling, or that's the tagline that comes with that name.
But that's what differentiates you on this program. No shame and no plague. But by the way, I want to make an announcement. I want to say hooray to all the people who have been watching my program on YouTube and to you too, because you will be pleasantly surprised that today, as you are coming in, today is when my book is released for pre-order. And the book is The Plague of Silence, exactly what we are doing. So the plague of silence just came out today. So at last, everybody that is asking the questions, why is it you are talking? Why can't you go and meet the people in secret? Why are you doing what you are doing? Why this and that? Talking. The plague of silence is out. And so it's on the screen right now. It's one of the books on the screen. The Plague of Silence. It could be pre-ordered. I don't know how much is it. How much is it? Skолько стоит книга? $3, $2. I don't know how much it's, but you can get it for cheap right now because it's a book everybody must have in their library. Because Plague of Silence, everybody just needs it. We all need this book to set ourselves free from the bondage, the plague that silence has brought upon our culture. Because what you said now, that single mother is a taboo word, that is because it's a plague of silence. Because that doesn't mean that we don't have single mothers in Africa. We do, but the shame of it, they put it under the carpet because of the plague of silence. That's why that Plague of Silence book is going to bring deliverance to the African continent. I'm so happy for it. So if you know in fact, if you don't know anybody, everybody, African or no African, must read that book on Plague of Silence. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. So, that's amazing.
Do you think silence is one of the reasons why that word single mother has become a taboo?
I think on a personal note, silence is what caused me to find myself in the circumstances I did.
Ooh, tell me about that.
I'll repeat that again. Silence is the cause of why I found myself in the circumstances I did. And I'll explain that on a personal note because I've devoted my life to be open, to be vulnerable, and to share my story to help others. So I shall do so in depth and with clarity. So if I had an opportunity to meet someone like me in this position, and if someone else had spoken up, if another woman had spoken up, growing up myself as a young girl, and I would have heard what it's like, and I would have heard what to look out for, and I had heard the experience, the traumas, it would have saved me from walking down the aisle and ending up in disaster. Secondly, while I was in the marriage, it would have saved me from, keeping quiet and enduring some of the things I endured for up to 6 years. It would have made me speak up a little bit earlier.
So you are not enjoying marriage, but enduring marriage.
Yes, I was enduring marriage with tears.
Instead of enjoying it.
I didn't enjoy a day of my marriage now.
But do you think you are not the only one? Do you think there are other women that are entering into relationships right now? Just like you entered into that relationship, even though you saw some things wrong, but because of the plague of silence, they couldn't break through. And also women who are in marriage right now, where they are not supposed to be in, just because of the plague of silence. They don't want mama to know, they don't want papa to know, they don't want friends to know, they don't want people in the church to know, they don't want pastor to know. Are you the only one in the whole wide world like this?
Pastor Sunday, I'm going to hit you today. I'm hitting you with hot, blood red hot examples. I have got a personal friend who is a beautiful friend of mine, very lovely, very amazing. And she has been married for 17 years. And when I sat down with her, I broke down simply because she told me as she walked down the aisle, she knew it was a mistake. She's got 2 beautiful boys, and right now she's 50 years old. And a year ago, she decided to end her plague after 17 years. Why? And I asked her one question. Why? Because this is before children. This is before anything. Walk away, walk away. And she said to me, what were people going to say? My family. People have gathered. People are. What would I say? So the plague is so deadly. It's so deadly because it's not only around you and external. The worst sort of plague is when it's mental. When you tell yourself, I can't break through, I can't speak out. And so I said to her, now you're 50 years old, you've got two beautiful boys. What now? And for the first time in her life, she feels like she's breathing again. She's 50 and she's starting afresh. So, to answer your question, the previous question and the one you've just asked me now is, no, I'm not alone. I'll give you Pastor Sunday. If I walk exactly 500 meters from the spot I'm sitting right now, do you know that my neighbors, this is heartbreaking, I've got 4 neighbors, and out of the 4, 3 are single mothers with children. The age ranges are between 50 and 26. And all of them have got children. And all of them were heartbroken, and all of them walked away. And so I've been interviewing them, and I'm trying to identify what puts us in this position. What's the commonality between us? And what I found is we're too nice. We're too nice. And the second point is that we've got no example. We've got no one who's nice.
That too nice is exactly the way you identified it. Is silence, plague of silence. You want to be nice, so it's a canopy of silence.
Yes. And you pay with your life. The cost is your life. The cost is not just your blood. The cost is your mental strength. It's your thinking capacity. You sacrifice every single thing. I can almost say it's a bigger sacrifice than giving your life to Christ. You know why? Because this one takes away your will. This one takes away your will because, this kind of plague, I sat there and I said, why would an able-bodied human being walk into something that's a lifetime commitment, potentially that will, bring out children and life-changing circumstances for everyone? Why would any normal able-bodied person not have the capacity to say no or run away or turn away? So when the plague has engulfed your mind, your reasoning, your will, it has devastating consequences. So that's just one lady I've mentioned. My other neighbor, she's young. She's about 26. Beautiful, lovely. And not all of us are from African background. I'm the only one with an African background. So I try to, look through different cultures as well, just to see what is the commonality, because women crying from this are not only African women. So what I find is that when there's no example and there's no one there who's open enough to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly of marriage, you walk into it blindfolded. So from my experience and from speaking to these women, the plague is costly. The plague is costly. And we are the lucky ones because we're the ones who manage to finally wake up and say no. There's some who till death remain.
But you said the cost is life, is your life.
Yes.
That you pay for this mistake with your life.
With your life. This
but
one
you
pay with your life.
spent about 7 years in marriage?
That's right, 7 years.
So you spent 7 years of your life, you are using it to pay for a moment of doubt, for a plague of silence. From one moment of doubt could have changed everything.
One moment. I remember after we had a conversation with my family, obviously this was devastating to myself, as well as my family, my mother, my father, and my sister. That's my family unit. If I refer to my family, those are the 3 people I'm referring to. And when we sat down as a family, obviously, we broke in tears. We had to make amends. We had to apologize to each other. We had to break the plague. So this is exactly how the conversation went. Okay, so I got there and my parents flew here to the UK. We sat down. My sister was there. She flew from Germany. And I said, guys, I want to apologize. I want to apologize because I feel like I've let you down. Again, the plague of this being a shame, yeah? I said, I'm sorry because in the family, I'm the only one who has done this, who has divorced. My parents have been married for over 35 years. My sister's married over 10 years now. So I apologized. And immediately, my father stopped me and he said to me, Patience, don't apologize. We are the ones who need to apologize to you. And I remember looking at my father thinking, Dad, I'm the one who's divorced here, and it's a shame, and you have to go home and face all this. And he said to me, I apologize. And I said, why? Because we have a very open relationship. I can ask my father questions. If I'm upset with my father, I can tell him. So I said, Dad, why? And he said to me, Patience, we didn't give you the fullness of our example. Had we given you the fullness of our example, our pain, we showed you our glory, we showed you our happiness, but we didn't show you the work. We didn't show you the sweat because we were shielding you. But what we realized, we thought we were protecting you.
So from the side of your parents, there was a plague of silence too.
There was a very, very big plague. And my dad was the first one to look me in the face and say, I'm sorry. So the man in my life as a girl had to break his plague and say, I'm sorry. And I need to be more open with you. I need to tell you my life. I need to start from zero with you. And I don't need to shield you from life anymore and keep you in a bubble. But I need to be real with you, because what you're going through now and what you will go through, you're going to need nothing but realness. And my father is a psychologist, he's a counselor. That's what he does as a profession. So for the first time, he had to sit someone in the chair who was his own daughter, not a statistic. So that was very difficult for my dad, but he knew the tools, he knew the process, he knew what he needed to do. So we started counseling session direct with my dad. So we had to go back to the past, how he grew up and, you know, how he understood marriage and what he faced as a young man. We went from zero Pastor Sunday. It was a very painful experience to have on the other side. I wish I'd had that before, but we had to break that. And so I was a sacrificial lamb. And we had to break that. My mother went on to apologize. She said, I'm so sorry because I had a feeling and I had some concerns, but I didn't voice out.
Again, the plague of silence.
Plague of silence. So my mom had to come out and say, on that wedding day, I was happy for you, but something was off and something wasn't right. And I remember I said to my mom, I held her, I said, Mommy, please don't apologize, because I was waiting for someone to say something. I didn't have a reason why not to marry him, but I just was waiting for someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, stop. And I would have stopped. And so my mom went on to tell me how she got married. So she opened up and she said when she got married, her parents didn't approve because my parents are from different countries. So they didn't accept someone who's not from their country. So my mother went through that grueling process of being stopped to be with someone she loved because of nationality. And so when it came to my turn, she was still fighting her demon there, where she was not trying to interfere with my will and what I love by, saying what she feeling is concerned about because of where she was coming from. So I want to say this. I'm opening up about my family because I want to say who you are and who you become in life is greatly influenced by the nurturing you receive and the people who raise you. So it's very important that you look back into how their life came about, because to some extent that does affect your life because they're the ones who raise you. So when we had to go deeper than that. So I isolated my ex-partner and his behavior and what happened, and I had to go back into who I was in terms of who raised me and what happened. So my parents began to tell the story of how they were married, which we had heard before, but this time it was not filtered. It was raw. So again, looking back, I understood we were younger. They couldn't tell us the full details because we knew that my mother's side, my father's side, it's not, we don't quite get along. We didn't know what the story was in depth, but we had a rough understanding. But now what I can say, if there are parents listening, it's so important that you shield your children from germs and diseases, but don't shield them from your pain. you need to tell them because they need to learn from you best. Don't let them learn their pain from falling down without any information and any tools and any arsenals, because it can be disastrous. For me, I'm so glad I have a second chance, but other people don't. So we began that process with my sister, my mom, my dad. It was so healing. It was so healing. They opened up. We opened up. I apologized. They apologized. We hugged each other. We cried. We did that over 6 months. They were in my house. And so that process began to open up areas that I needed to resolve within myself about me and where I was coming from. And so, yeah, that's what happened, Pastor Sunday. That's what I can share to some extent, that nurturing, parenting, you need to look back there and see what happened. It's not enough to say, we've broken the generational curse. Amen. No, none of that. You've got to go back, look at how you were raised, look at who nurtured you, and then do deep work with them. And then you can only overcome by starting from there.
Wow, profound, profound. Just profound. Amazing. So your parents have to break the plague of silence from both sides.
From both sides. They had to break it from both sides. And remember, I am from Southern Africa. My former partner was from West Africa. So we were people of different culture. So I had to go back and understand who I was, where I was coming from. That will bring me to the second part of my family, my whole family, so extended family. We all intermarry, different races, different culture. None of us are from the same country or tribe. So this is a common theme in my life. I'm someone who I don't feel comfortable or feel a sense of belonging when I am with people from one group of like a place or nationality or even religion. I don't feel comfortable because always in my life, I have to be among two or three different areas to feel comfortable because I belong to different parts, of Southern Africa. That's how I feel. So when it came to picking a partner, naturally, because of how I am, I then picked someone who's not from where I am from, because that's what works or relates best for me. So my thinking cap was switched on there. But what I wasn't aware of, which a beautiful friend of mine, Anastasia McDonald, brought to my understanding, because she's of Ghanaian background.
Where your husband was from?
Where my husband was from, that's it. She gave me the understanding of the culture and the expectations of what a woman should be, what a mother should be. And when I looked at that and I looked at where I was coming from a very liberal background. Like I said in the last program, my father cooks, my mom doesn't cook because my mom is not into cooking. She's not interested. It's not her thing. And my mom is a professional working woman. So growing up, we always had a nanny, a maid in the house. So in terms of taking care of the home, in my mind and in my understanding, even until today, is there should be someone that you find and you can pay and who can do that, and you focus on you and in your life. That's where I stand. So I was coming from that kind of background to a completely different background where, you need to be the woman who does everything. So there was a bit of a clash there. So in understanding who I am and explaining to you now, and then the kind of culture and background in terms of the partner I picked, it was a complete clash.
So that's from his side also, there was also a plague of silence.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure he opened up to you and explained to you what his expectations were.
Absolutely. There was a plague of silence because I married someone who had been married before. So
there are a lot of things that he was probably silent about, more than you could imagine.
More than I could imagine, even now. Some do come to my attention now.
Even now, after 7 years and after divorce, there are still some things we are just discovering now.
There's still pieces of the puzzle I'm still finding now. There's a piece I found out. Was it last week?
After living with somebody and having two children for 7 years?
Yes. After 7 years.
So a lot of people might be in this kind of marriages when they don't even know who they married.
Yes, so even after you can get to a state, I believe, when we say dust to dust and we say a final goodbye to somebody, I'm 100% convinced there are some women who can say dust to dust and they don't know who they're saying dust to dust to. Because when you are quiet, when you are silent, that's the worst kind of prison you can ever be in.
So
in your life.
this book, The Plague of Silence, actually is in every area of life: marriage, family, religion.
Pastor Sunday, I'm telling you, after the program, the letters I got, some of them I had to stop, shed a tear and then, try to read again. It was devastating. It was devastating. The kind of people I've got to meet, there's a group I'm affiliated with now. It's based in the United States, and it's got over 700 women, 700 women, and we're all in the same circumstances with children, and majority of us
700 children, 700 women, all of them with kids.
Yes, 700.
And
700
no husband.
No. And one of them, I'll share a story from the group. This was amazing. So in that group, I love that group because it's a very open group. It's not a an African group per se. Majority of them are Caucasian. And I can relate to their sense of openness because they just say it as it is. And I'm a direct person, so I say it as it is. So it works for me. And one of them came and said, "It's Christmas time, ladies." And I found out that my ex has engaged someone before we are divorced. I mean, he left me 3 weeks ago and he's posted online that he's engaged. So I couldn't believe my eyes because this cuts across culture. So I believe that your book, I haven't read it myself, but anything that can target that plague of silence will alleviate so much chaos in this world, because this cuts across culture. It's not even about Black anymore. It's not even about African anymore. It's about human. As long as someone is human and they're quiet about anything, that person needs to be helped to open up their mouth, open up their voice, because it's not even about you. It's about other people who are watching you, who need to hear your voice so they can be set free and echo out their voice and what's coming from within. And when I saw that, I was like, enough of that, because African culture promotes women to be quiet, don't say much, smile, look like a pretty rose, and everything will be okay. But for me, on the contrary, I say speak out. If it's good, speak out. If it's bad, speak out anyway. You have to speak anyway. It doesn't matter what's going on. So for me, out of that 700 group of women, some of them are UK based, some of us are UK based. So we're going to meet up soon. We're going to meet up in London. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. We are sharing experiences. And most of us were married to men with narcissistic traits. Narcissistic traits. So I can't echo that enough. When you see narcissistic traits, run for your life.
Just like you said just last week or 2 weeks ago, after being divorced for 2 years, you still have some new discoveries about your husband that you never knew. What does that do to you? That's killing. That should be crushing.
Well, now it doesn't surprise me, but I think the first time it happened after I left, I was devastated because I was thinking, who was I married to? Who was that? Like, can someone, I said to God, find someone who can tell me who that was. Because if this information that I've received and have verified is true, I don't even know what I'm dealing with here, because I thought my pain and my issues were 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm actually discovering that's nowhere near. That's minor. That's minor. So for me.
So basically, you didn't know who you were living with.
No, I still don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know. But what I do know is it wasn't good for me.
Plague of silence.
Plague of silence. Plague of silence in the church.
Oh.
Because who do you
in
tell?
Church also?
Yeah. Who do you tell? Like I said in the last program, I was pastor's wife. So who do you tell you're having problems? There's a pastor, a popular pastor who has come up lately, Pastor Gray. He cheated on his wife, and I think the mistress decided to go public with it, and because of that, they decided to speak out.
Okay.
And when I was listening to her,
To the wife.
the wife speaking, something inside me broke because I don't know what in our DNA as Black women qualifies us or convinces us that it's glorious to put up with the man's nonsense and train him and raise him and school him and then be glorified after, and that's honor, and that's Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah, I heard that the guy bought, is it Mercedes-Benz or something, a car like that? Some Lambo, what? Lamborghini? He bought for the girl as a compensation. Not bad. Maybe that's why she stayed.
There you go.
But I heard the church was also mad that he was using the church money to do that.
This is my issue. This is my issue. And then after that, you ask the woman to, when you as a man, he stood up as a man and he had to account for his actions. He had to account. For me, if I'm in that position, so I'll lift my hands and say, I'm sorry, I've been unfaithful, and I take full responsibility and apologize and sit down. But he then asked his wife to come on and say something, and then she was then turning it into a praise and worship session where she was saying she didn't allow the devil in, it's the devil who did that, and that, she used scripture on that woman, and she said, no, not with my marriage. I'm sorry. I am not entering into any marriage where I have to be, a mother to any man. I don't have to raise a man, a husband to become a man. That's not my role. When I come into this, it's a partnership.
No, you said you don't know what it is with the Black people that make them to think they have to be Proverbs 31 women. But that is not about Black women, though. It's about religiosity.
That's it. That's it. I believe it's in our religion because, well, in our understanding of the religion, I would say. Because
I'm sure you listened to that, my series, family series, when I say I don't want a Proverbs 31 woman. That is not what it is for. Nobody should expect to have a Proverbs 31 woman. It's anti-Christ.
It's absolutely. And when you look at it, something that freed me is an article I read about Proverbs 31. And there was a woman who wrote and said, stop comparing yourself to that woman. She also went on to say that woman's children were grown. So that woman had been through seasons of life as a mother. So when you are a new mother, like myself at the time, I was a new mother, a new wife, you cannot compare yourself to someone who's on chapter 35 when you're starting chapter 1. On your own and do your own. That was her, waking up in the morning, trading, making cloth. That's her. This is me. I'm learning me. I'm starting. So when you own your world and you don't compare yourself to anyone else,
but even to say what you are saying now, you are breaking the plague of silence. Because for a lot of women who are Christians, they would not be bold enough to say, I don't want to be Proverbs 31 woman. Everybody wants to be Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. With me, I'm not that woman. I'm not me. That was not my time. That's not my culture, and that's just not for me. And I'm not the mother-in-law of is it Samuel? King Samuel? Solomon, sorry. That's it. That's not me. That was her. That was that time. That's what she needed to be. I am me. I am not that woman, and I'm not that kind of woman.
You are getting a lot of shout outs here in my studio.
That's it. Pastor Sunday, I've learned the art of being myself. I am enough. Because I don't need to be anyone else. I don't need to be African wife. I don't need to be one behind.
But what you said about that lady, the Gray wife, Pastor Gray's wife, I don't think is real, whatever she did there. If she was actually putting out a show like that with a, praise moment, I don't think.
Yeah,
I think she was just acting. I think she was just playing it out because
just to cover. Absolutely.
a normal human being, either a man or a woman, especially a woman, she would be in pain, I'm sure.
Yes, you'll be hurting. You'll be looking down on yourself and wondering, am I good enough? I've been there. I've been there. Because you think, what don't I have that the other woman had? I've been there, so I have to say it as it is. You doubt yourself, is something wrong with me? God, do I need to be fixed? And then you feel anger. You feel a lot of anger. When you see a woman who triggers that memory, you get mad.
No, but why she should be doing sprays? You think she has been able to deal with all that feelings?
I don't think so, because you never, one thing I've learned is you never get fullness of closure on an issue. You just have to let it go and move on. You can
Do you
never
think Lamborghini is enough to remove those pains?
I don't think so, because you can be in that car, crying tears, crying tears.
Right inside the car.
Inside the car. Nothing you can do. You're inside, and it hurts even more, because what that tells me, if that was me, I would sell that car. I would take that money and I would leave him fast, because what that tells me is you need to buy my love. You need to buy my love. So it means you can quantify my love, and you've quantified my love to the extent of matching it with the price, and that price is a Lamborghini. That's too cheap for me.
No, but let me now say in his defense as a man that from his side though, it will not be buying our love. It will be showing appreciation for her forgiveness.
But I have to differ on that one, Pastor Sunday.
Okay.
Because if he appreciates, he would zip up.
That was before he bought the Lamborghini.
Pastor Sunday, if someone's a cheater, once they're a cheater, they don't stop. He just got caught. That's what I think.
Okay.
He just got caught.
Okay.
This is my opinion. From my experience, I really think that if you are someone who is unfaithful, or when things get difficult, you step out or you do that, that does not go away. You don't say sorry and it stops. That's not what my understanding.
So Lamborghini is not a factor.
It's just something. It's just a way to ask her to shut up in a nice way, in my opinion. That's a way to say, in a nice way, in my opinion, because for me, the biggest apology would be, him living a different lifestyle, him starting off by being real, starting off by taking that microphone,
but it's like she's also not being real if she's attacking the other woman.
That's it. Because it's all a show. They're just carrying on what they've been doing in their marriage, which is, showing the people a facade. Like he said in his own words, he was ministering, he was sharing to people, he was doing all that, and he said no one was there for me. Even if someone's not there for you, is the justification and the answer stepping out on the one person who is walking with you?
No, but if you say no one was there for you, it means that's also an indictment on the wife. That she was not there for him.
There we go. So for me, it's like, I don't know. When I saw that, it made me very angry. I felt very upset. So I stopped the video. I was very cross because I thought, there we go. There's someone speaking out to other women who are possibly sitting in that room, and they know that their man is stepping out on them, and she's telling them that all you need to do is put verses on that woman, pray to God about that woman, and say, no, devil, not on my husband.
No, I think maybe what the point they were trying to make, though, from a pastor's perspective, is that they were just trying to show an example of forgiveness, I think.
I think what could have been more successful is if they had started by being honest about their mistakes and their vulnerability, and then close that with forgiveness. It could have been wholesome. It could have been healthy. But when they come and project forgiveness in the sense of fighting for it, fighting for love, fighting for it, it didn't.
And then attacking the other lady who was also a victim, by the way.
Yes, because she was told a different story, and then it ends like that.
And then she's left alone.
And she's the bad one now. So for me,
I'm
it's
so
like,
glad that we are dealing with this topic, and I'm so glad that my book came out today, and we are dealing with it on the plague of silence, and that's a book that it came out today. How much is it? Did anybody find out how much the book is? $2.99. Oh, $2. Wow. Ooh.
I need that book.
That
I need that book.
I'm shocked that they put $2 on it. They shouldn't have put $2 on that book. That because the price is going to be $20, but they put $2. I think for a week. I think $2 is just for a week. I think it's for people who will pre-order this week. So that book, The Plague of Silence. I think you will even need it not just for yourself. I think you will need it to actually use it to deliver other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because with my experience and my story, my plague was strongest around my former marriage. But with other people, their plagues are centered around different aspects of life. So it's a book that I would, I haven't read it, like I said, but it's something that would promote or help speaking out. I want to touch a little bit of on childhood traumas, because the family series, like I said, I split it up into 3: women's section, men's section, and then the parenting side, which I want to touch on a little bit because we didn't have much time in the past series. Is that that series taught me how to raise children on my own, because I didn't have, again, there was no one willing to open up and say the good, the bad, the ugly about being a single mom. There was no one willing to be vulnerable. There was no one willing to share the challenges and how they overcame. People were just telling the glorious story and the beautiful aspect of it. So for me, I then took it upon myself. I said, I need to face this head on. And I want the real deal. I don't want the pretty side of it. I want the real deal. So I had to look for people who are open and people who are willing to do that. So I dug deep, and thankfully I did find in form of biographies. So I read a lot of biographies by women who have been married and the marriage ends and then they had to raise the children, where they break down what happened. So that's what I indulge in. So the family series can help you if you are a single parent, man or woman. It can help you and give you the tools. One of the ways it helped me is I am not much of a book person. I learn by hearing and by vision. So for me, it needs to be something in motion picture or audio, because I'm not good at, actually taking a book and sitting down. It just doesn't sink in. And I'm a person who likes things to be a bit quick, so it just takes too long. I get frustrated.
But where can they find the family series for people who don't know about it?
So for anyone who can go online, where you can find it is you go onto YouTube. So on YouTube, if you just type in Sunday Adelaja family series, that will come up. It has a total of 119 teachings divided into episodes. So it goes one by one. It's about hour and a half max each. So you can take it at your own pace and for what you need. I don't advise going through everything at the same time. What I will advise is break it down and see what you need most and then use that at a time. That's what I do with any of Pastor Sunday's teachings, so that it helps me, with my immediate needs. So if you go on YouTube, like I said, type in Sunday Adelaja family series, it will come up and it should have 119 teachings within the family series. And you'll be able to find that there. So it helps just to be able to do that. So when I went on that, my children, like I said, the ages at that time were 2 to 3. Now they are 4 and 5. So my children, I was thinking, how am I going to do this? Because that's another thing. Apart from the stigma, there's the fear of the unknown. How is this going to work out? Are my children going to grow up without a father? Or if you're a man, are my children going to grow up without a mother? Are they not going to be balanced? How will I do this? When they ask me questions, there's sort of like fear and worries. So all I did, I calmed myself down, patience, breathe in. We're going to find a way.
You need to move backward a little bit because your head is, like that. Good.
Sorry about that. So I found the family series, and then I found some tools that helped me. For example, with my children in that age range, is spend 45 minutes to an hour with your children every day, where you sit down and you talk and you encourage them to voice out, to reason out. Okay, so that was something I didn't know about. So it's a step and a tool that I found on the family series. So what I do with my children, between 7 o'clock and 8 p.m. every single day. We sit down and we talk. And
But you are actually doing, if you do that, you'll be doing better than how you would have done, even with a husband in the house.
So true, because you wouldn't have enough time. You'll be busy bickering and arguing and just want to put the children to sleep so that you can have another go, argue about something else. You don't have the time. You're too tired. No, you do it today. I don't want to do it today. No, I did it last week. Why don't you do it? They're gone to sleep. You just don't care. You just want to get the day done with. You're tired. But now it's intentional. I'm parenting in an intentional way. I'm parenting from a place of peace now, because now I do it purposefully. So I sit them down and I say, girls, we're going to read a story, and I pick an intentional book. Like I said, I wasn't an avid reader, and I still am not. So what I do, for me, articles work. They're short, precise to the point, or I listen to something. That's why the family series is so helpful. I don't have the time to sit for 2 hours and read. So I just put in my headphones and I listen. And that's what works for me, because I'm a mom on the go. If you think of McDonald's, you can sit inside for dinner or a drive-through. For me, I need something that's like a drive-through. So if you're parenting and you don't have time for the books, don't you worry. There is this platform called the Family Series on YouTube, Dr. Sandy Adelaja, and you can listen to that. So when I bumped into that, it helped me. So now I make time for the children, and those difficult questions naturally came up. One of my babies asked me, I call them my babies, they're so close to me. They watched a program on telly that spoke of a mommy, a daddy, and 2 siblings. And so in our time of talking, they began to open up and ask. So if we go back to African culture, it's a taboo, not talked about, it's not discussed. So I had to break that plague, and I said, not with my girls. We talk about any and everything, and I will tell them the truth. That's the kind of mother they have. So I sat down, I came to their level, and I said, tell me more. They started talking. Obviously, they're little, their vocabulary isn't much, but in her own way, she was trying to vocalize that she has noticed that mommy and her sister live in this home, but daddy is not in this home. And in that moment, obviously, something inside me broke. That was hard to hear my child say that, because I never experienced that. My parents stuck together. But I reminded myself, and I said, I did this in freedom. I did this for freedom, for me and for them. So I will not be ashamed, and I will address it. So I looked at her in the eyes, and I said, yes, I affirmed what she saw. And I said, that's very true. Mommy lives in her house with you, and daddy lives in his own home. And that's okay. And she looked at me, she was like, okay. So if you look where we're coming from in the African background, you don't even know where your dad went. You're not told. You can't ask. I have so many friends of mine, they say, I don't know what happened between my parents because of the plague of silence.
They cannot even discuss it.
No, you can't discuss it. You can't say to mom, what happened? You can't say, where's my father? You can't say, why did you not try? Did you try? What happened? And worst of all, you can't say, help me, I'm in the same situation now. Because now they will come with anger because they don't want you to go back to where they were. So for me, I decided that's not going to be my story. So with my girls, we've already had that conversation at 4 and 5 years old. And they have an understanding that we live in separate homes and this is family. So now I went on to ask them to tell me about their family in their own words. And I was amazed by their response, because over a session of like 3 sessions, they began to tell me, about their family. And they began to list what their family is like.
And you have this kind of time with them every day?
Every day, between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock before they sleep.
By the way, for those people who love books, I think there is a book I wrote about that, how to do that, developing values, or how do we call it? Forming values, core values in your children. Yeah, it's just for you to know that if you can go and listen to the video or audio on YouTube, or you can get the book. That's the book, How to Create Core Values in Your Children. So that is one of the principles there. It's a major principle every day.
Every day. We do that 1 hour every day. So bedtime, we quiet down. As soon as it's approaching 7 o'clock, we quiet down. We have our final drinks for the night, and then we're going to bed. And I pick a storybook. So now when I go to the library, please, I could highlight this, so many times. Please don't make your children just read books. That's not okay. Please make your children read books with a message. Because with me, I was just picking any book and giving it to them. But when I listen to the family series, I realized I have to be intentional about everything with children. So I pick books, for example, that talk about, I am enough in a childlike, session. So if I know that we're tackling this topic about understanding, the uniqueness of our family, then I make sure the books they're going to read for the next 2-3 weeks are about family. So that they, it kind of resonates with what I'm saying to them, what they're echoing back, and to address the topic with wholeness in a holistic approach. So when you're doing that with your children, please don't be afraid. Don't just let the conversation that you have one time be enough and think that's enough for your children, but surround them with examples. So thankfully, here in the UK, there's so many children's books that are written about different family households, not the typical mommy, daddy, and 2 children, but there's some that have a single parent, sort of frame, 1 parent and 2 children. So when they saw that, they realized they're not the only ones. And they realized
but how
that
do you, when children come up with a question like your daughter asked you, a lot of men complain that their exes, their wives, their ex-wives, always paint them black to their children. How did you overcome that temptation?
That's very true. That's very true. I had a conversation with one of my friends, and he was in a slightly more difficult circumstance because her ex-partner broke her heart and passed away. So it was painful for her because she had to contain her pain and deal with that while trying to address the children. And what I did do is I first of all made sure that I had to deal with my feelings. So before the topic came up, way before, I had to speak to my counselor about how I feel. So I had to address that. So that's something, thankfully, I had already done. So I had to go through the process of saying I was angry with my ex, let everything out and deal with that. So by the time the question came, thankfully, I didn't have the resentment I had about him. I didn't have the anger. I didn't have, it was much more minimized. It hadn't come to zero, but it was at a minimal point. And so when she asked me, my shock was not of her asking me, but it was the shock of I didn't think it would come so soon because they're young, 4 to 5. But how I dealt with it is this. As soon as she said it, I was standing up. She was, shorter than I am naturally. So I squat to her level. I gave her eye contact, and I asked her to repeat what she said again. I had heard her the first time, but I wanted to give her confidence to ask me that question and to know that it's okay to ask mommy. Because in most of the households, this is like a holy topic. It's not talked about. So I wanted her to know that I'm very comfortable with her saying it. And her sister was in hearing. So I wanted her sister to hear what she had asked me. And for both of them to know that that's okay. It's not a problem. So I asked her to say it again. And I asked her to speak up. I said, I didn't hear that. So she raised her voice a little bit more and she asked me again. And I said, good. And then I sat down. So I took a doll and another doll. And I said, so this is a family. And then this is daddy. This is mommy. But then this daddy lives over there in his house. And this mommy lives over here in the house. So daddy loves you, but daddy lives over there. Mommy loves you and mommy lives over there. And that's okay.
But won't you be lying?
But it's true, because I'm sure that her father cares for her or cared for her to some extent, and so do I, but we don't live together anymore. And that's what it is.
Do you think it will be too early to tell them to also break, because, for example, a lot of ladies do exactly what you have said, that daddy is good, daddy is nice, because I, as a pastor, I deal with a lot of this as well. When a lady is telling the kids that the father is good, is okay, but the guy is not okay. He wanted to kill her. He was beating her up. He was abusing her. He was messing her life up. And, you know, she's now telling, she said, I don't want the hurt to get into the girls or to the children, and I want them to love their father. And, you know, it is not their fault. So they begin to tell them the good things so that they will think the guy is good. Maybe it's right to do that when they are like 10 years old, 12 years old, but when they're already 15, 16, I think they should know that the guy is a brute or a cruel person or something. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, but you tell me what you think.
In my opinion, Pastor Sunday, I believe in number one, the truth, the raw truth as it is. And number two, I also believe in making it age appropriate. So for me, I've written a letter to my children.
Okay.
I've written a letter to my children, and I've explained what's happened. And what I affirmed to her was that we don't live in the same place and that each of us love you. That's what I affirmed to her. But in terms of me and him, I will never, most of the people who used to say something, particularly in the Black church, they would say, oh, never say anything negative about the father to the children.
Yes,
in the children.
Yes.
And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because it's not wholesome. What I think is make your conversations age appropriate and as truthful and as direct as possible.
Okay, so let me tell you a situation right now. I have many situations like this. So this lady that has been telling their children that he's good, it's a good husband, I mean, your father is good, only he's gone on somewhere, he's doing that. And then when, you know, because this woman is struggling with the kids, especially in the adolescents, you know, and so she becomes the bad one because she's trying to bring correction and she's trying to bring restraints and, you know, some discipline. And children, especially when they're adolescents, they don't like discipline. So you know what a lot of children begin to do? Okay, I'm looking for my father. But the father was never there. What a heartbreak that is for the... So, and then the guy just goes and looks for the father and leaves the woman there. And so it's the woman that is bad now, and the father will give you gifts and things like that. Okay, but you are the bad one. You get, because she never told the truth to the kids. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get it. And Pastor Sunday, you know what's heartbreaking about your story? Towards the end, the child goes to the dad, and guess what? Temporary high, and then after that, a very painful heartbreak.
Yeah.
Because now they lose both. They lose the reality of mom, and they gain the fantasy of dad. But after a few weeks, a few months, they earn the reality of who dad is, but they've broken bridges with mom, and they've got a heartbreak about the fantasy of dad and who he really is. And then they go on and they just get disappointed in life. So for me, I want to echo this from the depth of my heart and from the reality of where I am as well. The earlier you say the truth, the better for everyone. Because it's also difficult to try and keep up a face that you know, dad is sweet, he's lovely, or mom is sweet and lovely, whichever one applies to you, when you know deep inside they're not. That takes a lot of pain to do. So to set yourself free, I would say from the beginning, you know, you have to just set the record straight. And it's easy. You don't have to trash on him. You just need to tell your story as it is. We split up, and these are the reasons why we split up. Number one, there was unfaithfulness. So daddy did not tell mommy the truth, and daddy did something that was not good to mommy that he promised he wouldn't do. So, you know, make it age appropriate. So mommy had to walk away because that's not okay. Mommy wasn't safe. Mommy was in trouble because daddy was not behaving well. You just make it age appropriate. And you echo to the children that is not okay. So it's not just daddy issue. When anyone behaves like that to you, it's not okay. So that's why mommy had to go. And mommy had to protect herself and make herself safe.
So you have to she doesn't endure the same thing in our own marriage.
That's it. And think that is normal. And think that mom was brave. I need to be brave.
No, but so a lot of people are enduring it because they think their mom is brave. They need to be brave.
Yes, and they can't have that conversation to say, I'm in trouble, help me. So for me, I would say from
because of the plague of silence of the mom, it becomes the plague of silence of the children.
Yes. Oftentimes what I've discovered in my personal experience and my friends around is that most of the plagues the children face, they are fighting the demons of the parents.
Ooh.
Yes, so demons that should have been conquered by parents are still ongoing and spilling over into their children's lives. So most of the times, women who've been abused and endured abuse and raised children in that toxic environment, their children go on to either be victims or abusers. So for me, you need to break it. And nothing is wrong with you for being brave enough to say no. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, you teach your children, like for me, I've taught my children that the police are your friends. The police are your friends. Because if someone does something to you and they're not supposed to, you need to call your friends, the police, because I had to do that at one stage. So for me, and the police officers came when my children were there. So I don't keep those things away from my children. I made sure my children sat and I spoke to the officer and my children were sitting there because I needed them to remember that picture. I needed them to remember that picture. If they forget me, or if I'm not there when they need me, if I pass on in life, I want them to remember that picture, that mommy walked away and mommy called the authorities. And that's what you do when you're in trouble. You walk away and you call the authorities. It doesn't matter who's on the other side, whether they're family or not. If it's not allowed and it's not okay, walk away, call the authorities. I want my children, I don't want to be the speed dial, or I don't want to be the best friend of my children. I don't want to be the hero for my kids. I want the truth to be the hero. And I want my children to have boldness and confidence to say no. Even at their age, my children are very confident. Some people are very surprised, particularly African people, when we visit with an African background. They get surprised when they speak to my children because they'll say, for example, can I give you some drinks? Do you want this? And my children sometimes say, no, I don't want that. I want something else. And they said to me, no, but these are African children. They should listen to their elders. They're being given something, they should take it. I said, no, because I've taught them the power of their will. So they have a right to say yes, and they have a right to say no, even though I am their mother. As long as it's in line with doing the right thing, they have a right. Every single time I say something, I give my children the right to say yes or no. That doesn't mean I let them have their way. It simply means I give them the option to express their will. And then we will either still carry on and do the right thing, but they've had that opportunity to express their will, because I don't want their voice to be taken from them, because I know the damage of what that can do. So literally what I'm doing is making sure they don't have to fight my demon. So your book, Pastor Sunday, is liberating. It's about time that we spoke out and removed the mute button from people's lives.
Break the plague.
Break the plague. Break the plague. Break the plague.
So you divided the family series into 3 parts.
Yes.
The first part was?
Women.
Second part?
Men's section. And the third one is the parenting.
So now we are dealing with the parenting.
We're dealing with the parenting now. So what the family series does for you is it goes from pregnancy. It goes from pregnancy. So it starts from the beginning. What you need to be doing, from pregnancy. If you're still, a couple, if you have a partner. There's some women who've written to me past Sunday who've been heartbroken while pregnant. So sometimes you don't even have the time to start to, sort yourself out. You're pregnant, he breaks your heart. What do? So you can turn to this tool, the family series, because it just gives you what you can do from pregnancy all the way to infancy, adolescence, until they're grown and, they leave your home. So it breaks it down, I think, from a period of like 3 to 4 years. So it will say, for example, 0 to 3 years, this is what you can do. Then 4 to about 7, this is what you need to do. 7 going forwards to 11, this is what you need to do. So it breaks it down. And like for me right now, I'm centering on stages 3 to 7 because that's what's relatable to my girls. So I think the family series is a wonderful tool. It's a really wonderful friend of mine. It's become my friend. It's become my what can I say, my co-parent. It's like I'm married to the family series. Yeah. Amazing.
But that's a great principle you just told us. you picked out about spending that 1 hour with the kids. Any other nugget that you found helpful for that particular in the family series about the parenting?
What I found helpful is parenting. Something I can say, there's something about leading when bleeding. There's something about parenting when you're bleeding, because you can get caught up in your pain and forget or lose direction of sight of the fact that you need to raise up healthy, sound human beings while you're bleeding. So you need to raise them while your heart is breaking. You need to raise them while you're trying to put food on the table. You need to raise them while you're trying to juggle work, the bills, responsibilities, and trying to be two people in one. So what the family series did for me is it gave me that balance. It gave me that balance. Another thing I can point to is family series was also speaking about the children. It was speaking about their understanding from their point of view, because you were giving points about that. And that's something I had lost sight of. I was thinking about my children in terms of providing for them or being there for them and meeting their needs, but I didn't for a second pause and think, what is it like from their perspective? What are their needs from their perspective apart from provision? And so when I listened, particularly when you're going through 0 to 3,
yeah,
I heard you talk about what children at that stage understand. And you were talking about, it's not about when people come in and you teach your children to just say hello and goodbye to elders and walk away. Because that's what African culture is all about.
Yeah.
You know? It's about how the glory you receive from people after they see your children and how well brought up they are. That's the glory. That's what it's about. So, well, that's how it comes across to me. So this time you were talking about what a child perceives the situation as a 3-year-old. This is how they understand. This is what is important. And you were talking about it's important for you to let them talk, let them expand their vocabulary, let them express themselves. And I think for me, that was big for me, because I had to stop and listen to my children. I had to stop and listen to what they say. And when I stopped, I realized, oh my goodness, these children have been speaking to me. I just didn't hear it because there was just too much going on around me. There was too much, of my pain and drama. So I stopped. One of the steps I took past Sunday, ending of the year, is I had to cut down my hours at work to spend time with my children. I had to cut them down to spend time with my children because I was so busy working and then putting food on the table, living a very comfortable life. And I was happy to give that to my children, which I'll continue to do and I'm still doing. But I needed to also stop and give them more of my attention and time, because they were trying to, reach out for me, because from their perspective, they had 2 parents and then now they're down to 1 who is active and involved in their lives. So I had to stop and listen to them from their angle. And so that meant I had to cut down my hours at work, spend more time with them and listen to them. And boy, oh boy, Pastor Sunday, my kids were speaking. When I stopped, do you know what they said to me? This one's going to get me crying. My youngest, she said to me, "Mommy, you're a superhero." And that hit me hard. It hit me hard because I didn't hear what she was trying to tell me. So I said to her, "Superhero, like, well, superhero." So I switched on my listening cap. I switched on my listening cap, and she was watching a television program, and there were 3 superheroes for parents who have got children. It's called PJ Masks in the UK, PJ Masks, and it's 3 superheroes. They go around, saving the day and protecting their family and everything. And so she was 3 years old. She saw that, and these superheroes are normal people during the day, and they're heroes by night. And so the work I do, I work overnight, okay? I'm a financial analyst and I work through the night. So she saw that and all she could picture was, that's mommy. Because mommy does everything during the day and then she works by night. So mommy's a superhero. And I asked her to explain that, not because I wanted the glory of what comes with it, but I wanted to understand from her perspective what her mother is. And so she broke it down and she said, Mommy, and the words were not coming out well, but she was trying to tell me something. Mommy superhero, Mommy superhero. So Pastor Sunday, I was sleeping 3 hours a day, 3 hours. That's the maximum hours of sleep I was getting because I need to go to work 8 p.m., work through the night, and do a 12-hour shift, finish at 8 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as I finish work, I drive straight home. And my nanny stays with my girls through the night. So she stays with the girls through the night, and she will have the girls ready for nursery. So I pick them up from as soon as I get to the parking lot, get them from upstairs straight to the nursery. I come back home, I sleep for 3 hours, I go back to the nursery to pick them up, and then, I carry on the day with them until I go to work, and then my nanny comes back. So that's what they saw. They saw someone who is, by day, I'm doing things for them, and then by night I go. And so it's flattering, it's praiseworthy, but I stopped and I started to digest and listen to my baby. And my baby was telling me that it's like Mom's doing all these things. And I was like, I need to slow down. I need to slow down for them. I need to be there for them. And so the family series helped me to identify that. You need to listen to your children. It doesn't matter how old they are. Listen to what they're saying. Try to hear what they're telling you. And you'll be amazed what you'll hear. So I thought, it's time the superhero came home a little bit more. It's time the superhero spent a little bit more time with you because you're my superhero. I brought it there. So that's what the family series taught me.
But
don't just parent.
If you had a choice, and I think nobody will, of course, normal person in their mind, nobody will have a choice. Having a choice, choose to be a single mother, but if everything is okay. So what you had a choice, you kept yourself. Because when you were growing up in Africa, like most African girls, you are told you must keep yourself to be a virgin before marriage. Chastised. And you kept yourself. You were a virgin. You were pure. And you went into marriage thinking that itself will give you good marital experience. But what I normally hear some girls talk about is that after I kept myself for you, then you broke my heart and walked away. But what you are trying to tell me today is that you didn't even mention that. You said the life, that it's not just losing your virginity to the man and then him walking away. The 7 years of it's even greater than that. The price you are paying.
Pastor Sunday, what I paid is more than what God requires of me. That's how much I want to really bring the most drastic to try and emphasize and maximize, the cry of my heart. God, in his fullness, in his, awesomeness and majesty, does not ask for my will, for me to break my will. He gives me the choice to choose him. He doesn't force himself on me. But in that relationship, Lord have mercy. I didn't have a will. And it got to a point where, man, I was just there to survive. It was just a place to survive. I was there because this is where I can be. And I was just waiting for an escape, a place I could go to. I didn't leave sooner because I didn't have a place to go. And I didn't know how to get out. That's what was stopping me. I would have left sooner. But once God came through for me and the channel opened up for me to go, I ran like a wild horse. I ran for my life. And I wouldn't look back. So what I can say is the price you will pay for giving yourself up, giving your virginity up, giving whatever it is, everything you are. And your voice. If you are in that position right now and you can hear me, It's not worth it. It's not worth you giving your soul. It's not worth you giving your life. It's not worth you giving your blood. It's not worth it because Pastor,
No,
it's
but you are still
life.
paying the price now, even now.
Even after leaving, I'm paying a lesser price.
Lesser price?
Lesser price.
How could it be
Yes,
lesser
Pastor.
price when you have to work all night, all day to take care of somebody's children, even though they are your children too, but nobody has to do that. Nobody
Sunday,
has
at
to
least
do that. Because there are two partners that brought these children to life.
That's it. That's it. But you know what's amazing, Pastor Sunday? To me, if you ask me, someone asked me, is what you were in what's more difficult, where you were or where you are now? And I said where I was. That was more difficult than this because this requires more of my input in terms of my energy or me rushing around, but I do it joyfully because it's my children. I'm happy to do that sacrifice. But that one, I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a voice. I didn't have a will. What I'm doing now for the children, I've been doing anyway. But now the difference is I don't have a
No, but
slave
you are
master.
doing it with the help
Yeah.
of your husband as well. He was providing, maybe doing some things too, no?
Yeah, he was doing some things, but it was like being a caged bird in a better home. And then now I'm a free bird. So the price is it's life, it's a lifetime price. Now I feel like it's a lesser price because I'm doing it for the children. And thankfully, Child Support Agency has stepped in and I can get some support from him through them. But now there's no slave master driving me, at the back with a whip.
So the ladies who are in the marriage right now thinking that the price they will pay being single mothers will be greater than the humiliation they are going through, that's living in illusion.
Yes, it's an illusion. What I can say, the reality of being a single mother is that it's work. It's work. Because you have to do the job of two
But people are
as
afraid of that work, and so they are suffering the humiliation.
That's true.
But what you are telling me is that the work is preferable to the humiliation.
The work is, I would give my all for the work. And I would say to anyone in that position, that if you're thinking to choose, do I go, do I stay? It's better to go because you'll be free. Like right now, what I'm doing for the children, I was doing in the relationship anyway. Now I do it as the only sole source or only parent, but it's much more peaceful because there'll be squabbles about why are you doing this way? Why are you? So there's no strain and stress on me personally. I just have to do the work for the children. But in the cage, in the prison, I had to do the work and I had to be damaged. I had to be hurt while doing the work. So if you ask me, would I prefer to do the work in peace or would I rather do the work while someone is breaking me and hurting me daily, repeatedly in the same places? I would say I would rather do the work alone, peacefully, with no tears.
I got it now.
So this is where the contrast is. Do you want someone to break your heart while you're parenting, or do you want to be free while you're parenting?
I got it.
And the level of hardness or hardship is different. It's not the same, and it's not scary. You can get help. There's so many agencies that can help you. There's friends and family that will come at your aid. But when you are in the prison and in the cage, you're being eaten away. Your dignity is being eaten away. Your voice is being eaten away. You're being wounded repeatedly. No one can see your deep pain because when you're married to a narcissist, they seclude you from people. So it's like you're in prison and then you're doing work while you're in prison. So what I can say, it's much more preferable to be free as a person. Like now, I parent without tears. I parent without tears. I do the work necessary and I have to keep checking my balance, checking the children. It's like driving, but you've only got one view mirror. So you have to keep checking the other side. Then being in a car with more than 7 mirrors, but it's got no wheels. So that's how it works for me. So it's much more preferable. So I'll be very real with any mother or father listening who's considering being a single mother. It's difficult in terms of the work. You have to multitask, and then you learn planning and budgeting that is tighter than you would than when you're with someone else. But the saving grace is there is child support you can get. So you can contact the government if you are in Europe or wherever, or even in some places in Africa, contact them. You can get child support. What they will do, they will reach out to the other party on your behalf for the children, and you can get income. I get income and support from him through the agency, every week.
But
So
what
they
you
do that.
said is that even before they stepped in, you were already on your own. And
Yeah, before this,
and you said
yeah.
there will be sympathy from other people who now know that you are single, as against when they knew that you were married anyway, you are covered.
Yes. So people noticed me, noticed what I'm going through as a single mother than they did when I was married. Because the assumption is the grass is green. And because the plague of silence is in full swing, no one knows your pain, you're not talking. But when I left, that's the loudest I have ever been about what's going on with me. So people could see. So people offer that support. So in terms of childcare, if I need to do something or do this broadcast, now I have people offering to help me because they know my circumstances. So please don't be afraid or ashamed of saying what's going on with you. Some people will laugh, but the percentage of people who will laugh is minimal compared to the people that will step in and help. God will send
because
help.
there are a lot of people who spend their whole life suffering and enduring the humiliation just because they are afraid of the challenges that will revolve afterwards.
Yes, I was one of those people because I could have left sooner. But I was afraid. I was afraid because I was like, how will I do this? How will I cope on my own? And I'm not in my motherland. I'm in Europe. This is not my home. How will this work? And he had lived here longer than I had.
And you didn't have papers, right?
I did have papers with him. So I was on a spouse visa. So what that meant is in the UK, if you separate, then that means your stay comes to an end. You must leave the UK.
So that is a fear right there.
Yes.
And a concern for a lot of people too.
Yes. Because you can get support if, for instance, it was domestic violence where you've been hit, you've been attacked, and you've maintained evidence, you've got evidence to support your claim. You can get support. But in my case, he didn't physically hit me. So basically, I couldn't get the support that someone who's been through domestic violence would get, which is shelter and assistance with immigration. I had to fund my immigration by myself and a lawyer. So that's lots of money. And then another thing is that, they have to consider your application. It's not automatic. So if you are in the diaspora and you're not in your home country, there is that fear that, I might have to go home. Where will I go? And the narcissists or perpetrators will play on that to say, it's my papers. So remember, it's my papers. So if you leave me, you're going to lose your stay. But you have to, go beyond the fear. Don't let the fear of the unknown stop you. There is a way out. There is a way out. So what I did is I researched and I found out information. So if anyone is in the diaspora, you can find work and you can work, and then you can file for, an application, which is what I did, to file for an application to stay in the UK as a parent because my children are British citizens. So you can get that support from the Red Cross. They have a solicitor who can give you free assistance, free information. You can also contact the YMCA. They can give assistance as well. So there are some organizations that can offer information and help that you can reach out to. So don't let the fear of the unknown stop you and keep you in prison. There is a way out, and there are organizations that can help. All you have to do is Google, or you can go to your GP, your doctor, and you can tell them your circumstances, and they can give you advice or contact numbers of those organizations. So you don't have to feel alone.
Wow, you are setting a lot of people free more than you could imagine. You are setting so many people free. Well, meanwhile, I want to say if anybody is there that wants to do a shout out to Pat and support her and, say some good words, because I think, I absolutely admire her. I think she deserves to be admired. If there's any lady there or any man there that is being helped by the things that she is saying, please be free to call into the program and just go to Facebook Messenger, Move Agents, and look for Move Agents in Facebook Messenger, and just write us a note that you want to call, and we will call you back. But on the other hand, for those people who are concerned that are we promoting divorce? No, this is not promoting divorce. This is saving the life of a partner in divorce, because this is damaging a lot of people's life. I mean, in marriage. So do you prefer to remain in marriage and be killing somebody or being killed than to go your separate ways and preserve the lives? Now, but some people will say, but the Bible says that God hates divorce. And Pat already addressed that the last time. Yes, God hates divorce. It's not the same thing as God prohibits divorce. You see, God could hate it. God hates sin too. But you, my dear, you are still sinning now. I am still sinning. All of us are still sinful, despite the fact that God hates sin. The same thing, God hates divorce. But you know what? Life happens. And sometimes that's the only way for people to rescue their lives. And that's why this book, The Plague of Silence, will help anybody that's going through a similar situation, but not just in terms of divorce. This Plague of Silence is actually in relation to everything. In this book, I'm talking about silence in regards to the nation, the culture, the family, the church, the religion, and everything. Silence everywhere. You will just be free. This book we just set free, and it's $2 right now. For a week, it's going to be $2. But then when it's fully released, it will be $20. So, yeah, I think somebody wants to call us. And but before the call comes in, I just want to say, you are setting a lot of people free. Would you like to talk about, Pat, would you like to talk about the third part of the family series, the men?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because
I had so much, on a personal note, I developed a resentment for men at some extent, because I just thought, oh, these people are just, men are just there to break people's hearts and they're heartless. And I think you touched on that. Men are dogs. There was that thought just because of the pain. But as I went through therapy and went through, my support group, I had to heal and discover that not all men are the same. And, you can't paint all men with the same brush. So first of all, they ask the men who go through similar situations. So they ask the men who've had their hearts broken and that are in these circumstances. One personal friend of mine, who's a very big fan of yours, we met at work, and he is a single dad. He's a single dad and has a little child, and he takes care. So we were working together.
So we have to talk about it, because it will be good to hear the point of view of a lady that's a single mother talking about men. So we'll come back to talk about that in the next. So we have to get you back anyway. Hello?
Hello, Pastor Sunday.
Is that Ufoma?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about this program today? What do you think about our Double P? Double
P, I just love you, and I'm really so glad to hear you speak of all the things that you have been talking about. You have been so brave, and really making yourself vulnerable is just so awesome. And it breaks my heart, because it's a pain and a burden that I carry right now, because it's hard, because what I see is that a lot of us, and I'm also very glad that you touched on it. We have been raised by parents that didn't share much about their journey, And I see a lot of us, even as parents now, not also sharing much, even with the younger generation. And I feel this responsibility as adults, women, to raise the younger generation. If not, we'll keep having the same problems that we are seeing, this same problem of single mothers, divorce, domestic abuse. All of we keep having this in society, and we just need to stand back and let this same younger generation go through the same pain.
Wow.
And I don't think it should be so, and that is where my heart is, and I'm really trusting God to be able to, wake a lot of us mothers up to know the responsibility that we have towards the younger generation. We need to speak more. We need to be open to them. We don't just expect that they will know. We don't just expect that they know what it is to be in a relationship. You don't just expect that they will be able to cope with life challenges. If we don't teach them, if they don't know, they will do the same. They will fall into the same mistake. And I think that is where my heart is. And I'm so glad that you were sharing. And I was really also pleased to hear your journey with your parents. Having to apologize and say, we are sorry, we failed you, we didn't tell you what you needed to know. And a lot of parents are in that same situation. They just assume that once your child is grown up, she will be fine. No, they will not be fine if you don't take time to teach them what they need to know. They will not be fine if they don't understand what it is they need to look for in a relationship, how to recognize a narcissistic man. If you don't have these conversations with these children, they will go and make the same mistakes. And that is what is happening. Our society today, especially with our religious sector, they have lost this essence of teaching and this more miracle, breakthrough, testimony, and that is all. They have lost this essence of really preparing people, for what life is, for life challenges. And we need to do this. It breaks my heart anytime I see a young lady struggling through marriage, having problem with their spouses. As much as I pity them, my heart is always like, oh my God, these young ones are coming, and who is talking to these people not to go into the same mistake? Because this thing is increasing. Young couples, young marriage, young children, they just end up divorced. It's not a pleasant experience. And I'm so happy that you're making yourself vulnerable to share this history. It's not a pleasant experience. And if we don't say something about it, if we don't teach the younger ones, because I don't know. My heart is I'm really so burdened, and I've just been so engrossed just listening to you and everything you're sharing. And it's making me feel really bad and guilty. Like, we really need to do more, because we don't want more young people to come, grow up, have a wrong perspective about what relationship and what marriage is and what being a woman is, and they get into marriage and they get hurt or they're abused, or they have to stay. Somebody will say, I stayed 29 years or 20. Yeah, why do you have to go through all of that, in the name of just trying to bear and endure, something that could just end up, making you dead?
This is because of the plague of silence.
Yeah, the plague of silence has to be broken. And I really love you, Double P, and I'm really your braveness, your confidence. I'm so glad that this experience did not break you, but has made you a very strong woman. We need to raise more strong women in society who will be models for the younger ones, so that they will also be strong and confident women who will not have to suffer any kind of abuse, who will know that they have to be self-sufficient, who will know that marriage is not the end, it's not the end of everything, but they will live a life of purpose and knowing that God has created them here for more than marriage. I really just love you, and I just really hug you right now. And thank you for sharing it.
Thank you so much, Ufoma. Your word is so powerful. And what you have said, thank you so much. What Ufoma just said is that all parents, even we as parents, we need to read this book and learn how to break the silence and how to break the plague. Because many of us, even as I'm listening to you, I am thinking, my God, so if I don't want my children to run into a situation, we must tell them everything about life, about relationship, about our own situation, about everything. We must all learn to break that plague of silence. And that's why we must all get this book while it is still there for $2 for everybody. Can get it before it becomes 20.
Yeah.
And then go and listen to the family series. But again, You can listen to the family series, but try to protect your children, because that's what Pat was talking about, that it's from like good intention. You want to protect the children, but really you are not protecting them at the end of the day. You are endangering them because they don't know the truth about life. I think we have another caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Who is talking, please?
It's Grace.
Grace from France?
Yes, sir.
How are you, Grace?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
Okay, so I've listened to this lady, and I understand her pain, and I understand what she went through. So, DSA, I was so touched by most of the things she said, but my own contribution may be complicated here.
Okay.
Because for me, I'm going to use myself as an example. What I'm going through, for example, with what helped me is patience. Because if I wasn't patient today, I don't think maybe by now I would have been in a separate way. Because I use the life of Jesus as an example. I was thinking, what helped me? I was thinking, Jesus Christ just came down from heaven to carry all this pain, to be humiliated, to be beaten. Not because he had children, maybe, but we are all his children. Not because that he has his own personal child, maybe just like husband and wife. When married, they have children. But he take all of us as one, came down to suffer. And I was thinking all those things. And I was saying, what did Jesus, the kind of mind that Jesus will have to take all this pain, when I apply this kind of wisdom and think like that, then my spirit, each time I want to do something that will make us sprint, all this thinking were the one that was helping me. I begin to pray for God for the spirit of patience and endurance.
Wow.
Because most of the things that happened to me in my relationship, in my life with children and all that, with with the promise and faith, the promise that have not been kept, I feel broken. I was like, I see some women, be happy more than the way I was. Then I begin to go to prayer, begin to reason that if I want to do it according to this present world, by now, I think that I should have been in my own apartment with my children. But I never knew that my husband was looking. He said that he was looking at me. I didn't know that he was watching what was going on. And later, he was the one not drawing. He was not changing on his way because I was patient with him. Each time he do something wrong, he pleased me. But I won't take action against him. I will do as if nothing happened. Not that I'm not feeling pain, no. I'm feeling pain inside me, but I was applying the wisdom of God. Because why? Because remember that when Jesus was in the cross, Jesus Christ, they were tearing his clothes. It's not easy to be patient like that, tearing his clothes, spitting on him. Then the same people was killing him. He still tell his Father in heaven that, please forgive them, they don't know what they are doing. I was beginning to asking God, what kind of mind is that? Somebody was dying in the cross, being beaten, molested, naked, starved naked. Then he still pray for forgiveness for those people. Then I was telling God, if I'm not patient with my husband now, what am I going to tell Jesus? Who was able to forgive those kind of people, Then
Wow.
I begin to tell God, I want the kind of heart that Jesus had, that made him to forgive those people that were killing him. Those people that were striking him naked. They were nakeding him, molesting him, tearing his clothes. That person that Jesus had in the cross, that make him to say, Father, because if Jesus would have opened his mouth and said to God, strike them dead, God would have do it, because God was angry. They were killing his son. At that time, because Jesus was
is there no limit to patience and endurance and suffering?
Yeah, DSA. For me today, what I'm saying, there is limit. But let me tell you, but if we use according to this word, because according to this word, if we cannot, if you cannot patient, now nowadays, many women don't want to, they don't want to just take it easy at all when it comes to patience. They just want quick action. For example, when a man, some men, if you want to follow the will of this world, you will just say, I'm tired of this. I want to go out of this. I'm tired. I can't take it anymore. I'm tired. I'm off. But when you want to go and tell people will tell you, they'll say, oh my God, you have tried. But they will say, please come out of it. That is what the world will tell you. But if we're patient, we will see the result. Because mine, I saw the result of patience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And your husband changed?
My husband he said that each time he kneel down, he will say, God, thank you for the kind of woman you gave to me. When I complain to people, for example, when I stop telling people, because they will say, nobody will advise you to endure. This is too much. Oh my God, how can you continue? Find a woman like you, taking all this nonsense and, oh my God, no. Because why I do my own is that my husband was not violent. He don't beat woman. He only that there was some character that was not good. You understand? There was some promise that was not kept. But if I was not be patient with him, I would have just speak up because of those, because it was really hurting me. But I only go to my knee and pray that God should give me the kind of heart that Jesus has, that make him to be able to be patient with people, that make him to be able to be forgiving those who are killing him. That he should give me that
thank
kind
you,
of heart.
thank you so much, the Grace. You've made the point. You are repeating it already because there are many calls. So we got your point. Thank you so very much. What will you have to say about that part? That's the other side of the coin, very much the opposite of the much opposite of what we have spoken about today. Hello. Oh wow. Maybe other people could also tell us what they think, because maybe it's better to just endure and be like Jesus in the relationship. Hey, smoking my crown. Maybe it's better to just endure and, just be like Jesus and become the savior of your family and of your husband and of your relationship that way. Yes, the issues were not yes. So let us know what you think. But, should the sacrifice only be from the side of one person? Or should the sacrifice only be from the side of the wife? Although everybody has to be patient. I personally think, I'm also against divorce. And I think that, personally, I think there could always be forgiveness, and love covers a lot of sin. But who knows? I'm not a woman. I'm not the one that has been in that kind of situation. I don't know how much people could endure. But let's hear what you say. Personally, I don't believe in divorce. I would not divorce for any reason. And I don't, I think that I can cope with any situation, and I'm going to advise people not to. But there are situations that people would rather die. When people will die in this relationship, it's better to just rather walk away than die in that relationship. That's one thing. Secondly, in some relationship dehumanize a person, especially women. They don't become human being anymore. They have been dehumanized totally. And thirdly, in a situation when husband and wife are together and they are living in hatred and in anger, they will all go to hell if they don't, So why should they all go to hell when they could separate them and save their souls? Do we have a caller? Hello?
Hello. Good evening, dear sir.
Good evening, sir. I think that is a familiar voice. Who is that?
Mr. Kobla Ati from Lagos. It's long time I called.
It's a long time, Mr. Kobla. How now? Did you disappear?
I did follow things underground.
Okay. Nice to hear your voice today.
Yes, sir. My own is a very short story that happened in Yanofaja, Lagos, about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So let me just present this story.
Yes.
Till the end. Husband and wife are there. The man lost his job. The man was doing very well. This is true life story. The man was doing very well. The wife was doing very well. Later, the man lost his job. He's at home. The lady now is working with another man that he travel Abuja everywhere. And then the man starts feeling jealous of the boss that the wife is going with. And the husband will be at home with the children and be hearing so many things. So now they want to go their separate way. The pastor of their church said, no, God is against divorce. So they should not divorce. They should stay like that together with the pain and the anger. And they have been like that. Every pastor is counseling them, they should stay together. Every pastor is counseling them, they should stay together. One day, they travel and come back, and the man accused the wife of infidelity, and then they bring quarrel in front of the children. Then the man threw the woman from the staircase down, and the woman landed with her neck, and died. Now, they buried the woman now in the police cemetery, and the man is in prison now in Philippines. So who take care of the children? Because the excuse of the husband, the excuse of the so-called pastor is because of the children. Because of the children. You people should stay together. Because of the children. You people should stay together. God will do it. Now, the woman is buried. The man is in Kirikiri. What about this?
Wow. So it's better for them to have gone their separate ways.
Yes.
So that there will be no death. All of the two of them will still be alive.
Do be alive. There is one opposite my gate here in Apapa. They are separate. The woman live in Suele, the man live in Apapa, and they are going on fine. They are not living together again, but they are going on fine.
I got it. Very strong story.
Yeah.
Very strong.
The woman is dead. The man is in prison. Who lost?
Thank you, Ati. Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Kobla.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where is Pat? Okay. Poskaj paka drugoj gost. This one knock. So, where do we go? Do we stay with the with grace that says have patience? Or we go with part that is saying, start your life, build your own life, take care of your children, save your life. Yes, God hates divorce, but God does not prohibit divorce. Even Jesus said you can divorce if there's infidelity and things like that. I think we have a caller. Hello?
Yes, dear sir. Hello, dear sir. Good morning from Los Angeles.
Good morning. Is that Chinwe? Mabel? Yes. How are you, Mabel?
I'm so good. And you?
Good. Can you speak louder closer into the telephone so that we could hear you clear?
Okay, I'm close, but can you hear me
now?
No,
just raise your voice a little bit more.
Okay, dear sir, please, I am so thankful to that lady there with you. I am so thankful. And thank God another man called in, the man that just spoke.
Yes.
I'm so happy she called in, because what the sister that spoke before that man got me calling you. You know why? It depends. No woman, dear sir, no woman wants to leave her home. No woman wants to break her home.
Okay.
Every woman, any woman that marries a man, loves that man to a fault.
Okay.
But when it comes to you marrying your enemy, it's obvious that this person is your enemy. You are stuck. Any woman that walks away, dear sir, if you measure what that woman went through, you will not believe it. No woman wants to leave the home. The sister that called said
patience.
Some promises was broken. Who is talking of promises here? Don't promise any woman anything. She can even take care of herself.
No, promise. When women talk about promise like that, they are talking about infidelity, I guess, and things like that.
I'm not even sure that's what she's saying, but if that's what she's saying, assuming you are in a relationship and you see your man mess around 24/7, and he will even tell you to your face, I'm not gonna touch you for 1 year. I will not touch you for 1 year. This is my stand. And they said, do you know some women go through that, keep praying, and they go through that, and you think that is not enough endurance? If I tell you what women endure in their homes, you will not believe it. Sometimes when you cry, I'll be like, yes, I don't even know he's crying for little things for women. Women go more than what you are seeing. That's why I love you so much, because I see my sister. If I don't love you for anything, I love you for that. Because you are loving that woman the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing that draw me to you, because I saw the way you treat her.
Yeah.
So no woman wanna leave her home. No. But a case where it's too much and you know you are typically marrying your enemy, I think the best to step out. So even when our daughters, because when we do this and we leave them, they will be like, Mom says it's not okay to leave. And this is coming from our culture. It's seriously coming from our culture, because I wouldn't see why you know that you cry every day. You cry at night, you carry the body, you pay the children's school fees, you do everything on your own. You just be there because I'm a married woman. What will people say if I leave? What would this? Meanwhile, you are just dying in silence. I love that, sister, talking with you there. Please, every woman, when it gets bad, please step out. It's the best thing. There's no shame.
Wow, beautiful.
There is no shame. If you fail, this is exactly where I will not preach what you preach about when you fail.
Yes.
When you know that you've tried your best to keep your home, if you are failing, please fail. There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
There's no shame. If they call it fail, let it be. So many marriages that are just enduring. Nobody is enjoying marriage. I might be wrong, but I'm telling you, 99% of women in marriage, they are just enduring DSA.
Wow.
They are enduring. They cry day and night.
Wow.
Put up their makeup and walk around. You think it's what they see? That is not what is there.
Wow.
No, it's not.
Wow.
It's not. DSA, women are suffering as far as marriage is concerned. And we are trying us not to take this. Remain single. It doesn't matter. Forget culture, because our culture is making us, how can you remain single? DSA, if I know what I know today, I don't think I will go.
Wow. You are a straight talker.
You honest truth.
You are a straight talker.
Somebody in the platform, am I even fighting with him typing? What did I say? He said, do you not mean that the men are the cause of the problems in marriage? I said, yes, of course. And do you know why I say yes, of course? Women are multipliers. If you don't know, please go to DSS family series.
Yes.
You will understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Go there and go through that. You will understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
And again, if you say women are troublesome, what did you marry? Did you take your time to get a wife? Or you were just covered with flashy things and you got something? Not every woman is a wife material. Go through DSS series, know what a wife is, then get one. Then she will multiply whatever you give to her.
Beautiful.
Don't tell me any woman is bad. No woman is bad except you marry what is not a wife. And in DSS series, you will know what a wife is.
Beautiful. Wow.
So where will be any problem in any marriage is men. As far as that family series is concerned, the men are the problem. Let them hear me and hear me clear. Because women, we are multipliers. Give us one little problem, we times it by 100. Give us one little love, we fall head over you.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. There's no two ways about it.
Wow.
So, David, I'm calling you out in the platform. You are fighting with me. This is why I said, yes, men are the problem.
Mabel, you are empowered. You need to begin to do your own broadcast, though, because with this revelation,
I will, DSA.
Beautiful.
You got it all right. Anybody that doesn't take it from here, I have only a daughter, I have 2 sons. I'm sitting them down and telling them, Do not tell me you want to marry anybody. You've seen love of your life. You have to be rich to get that done. If not, gather your ass together. And I tell my daughter, do not make any mistake. If I know what I know now, I don't think I will be there. I will be here.
Beautiful.
Short and simple. I'm telling my daughter, if you make this mistake, it's yours. DSA has made it plain and simple.
Beautiful.
Get a man, get a husband. We know there are husbands. There are husbands and there are male. And DSA, let me tell you this thing. There's something you said that consoled me. When you were saying every daughter, every son needs a father.
Yes.
And when you say a father mustn't be a male,
Yeah.
have the qualities of a father. DSA, that made my day. I will tell every single woman, get the quality of a father, get it to your children. We can do that.
Right.
We can do that. Because there are so many things I've gotten from you that I don't even know where to start. When you were saying it's like our happiness lies on the husband, yes, I was heartbroken. I was like, why will God be this wicked to women? Why will our happiness be on them? But when you now came down to what it takes, women have to be matured. You have to do this. You have to take maturity. I said, okay, I know this God I'm serving can be this wicked to have somebody's happiness in another person's hand. Then I liberated myself. I said, oh, okay, I can give myself happiness. I can do it.
Beautiful.
It's not more in anybody's hand.
This lady has been accused. You have been accused.
Oh.
You have been accused.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are liberating so many people. Great woman of substance, patience. Keep it up, baby. You did the right thing. Right on, baby.
That is Mabel.
Right on, baby. Let nobody tell you to stay, to have the umbrella of a husband weighing under you. The heat is
umbrella,
and you're having an umbrella, pretending to the whole world. Who cares, DSA? Who cares? If it's not happiness, it's not happiness. It has to be happiness to be happiness.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, DSA. Let me give some people time.
You are good. You are firebrand. That is Mabel. She with Mabel right there. Amazing lady. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, DSA. Keep loving that, my sister, Pastor Bosse.
I will do that.
Her, please.
Thank
Keep
you.
loving her, the kids. You are a great man.
Thank you.
You are the great general, army general of our days. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Chinwe.
keep calling the pastors out. No problem. Either they change or they see it. You can never compromise truth to DSA. You can. Anybody that is talking of, anybody that is saying about the style you are using, you cannot use any other style.
Yeah.
But to say the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is the only thing. Respect them the much you want, as you are saying you respect them. Respect them. But for the truth, for the true gospel, you have no choice, DSA.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
it up. Call them out. Call them out. Let them change. Call them out. Let them change. How can somebody say this year gonna be a year of strength? What is strange? Then people will now pay money to pacify the strange. The strange. They will not sort it here and there. Maybe they will give three first fruits so that the strange year will have mercy on them. Yes, all these things is wickedness.
Wickedness.
So wickedness.
Yeah.
The year
Yeah.
of strange. This will happen. That will happen. When will a good thing ever happen?
Wow.
When will a good thing ever happen? It's always fear. Let them magnify faith. That's what I'm waiting for them. They should magnify faith because they know Nigerians will love God. And once we know who we are in Christ Jesus, DSA will fly. And that's what they're hiding from them. That's why look at we keep saying fear. Your enemy will die. How can your enemy die? When God says 70 times 7, you forgive. When he said pray for those who persecute you. What kind of religion is that? And he's seeing where you are. We are waiting. That David and Goliath, we're gonna see it in our day. We are waiting. And the other one is talking of coconut. How can you combine Christ and coconut and say it's Jesus? Jesus and coconut. How come? How is the power of God having combination? Is God looking for any person to help him? Why are they combining that? And they're selling those things to our people and they're buying. And when you talk, they will tell you are the one in error. We are waiting to see who will eventually be in error. Thank you, DSA, for this long time.
Chinwe is fire. Firebrand. Fire lady. Wonderful. Okay. Now, where is Pat? Meanwhile, while we are getting Pat to come back, I want to say that we have the next History Makers training in Kyiv in February, next month, from the 2nd to the 7th. Maybe some of you will still make it. From the 2nd to the 7th of February this year, we have our History Makers training in Kyiv here. So if you want to come, go to my blog, sundayadelaijablog.com/HMT, or just write to hmt@godembassy.org. Maybe you could still make it. If you are coming from a country where you need visa, like African countries, then maybe you might not make it. But I think South Africa, do they need visa? Yeah, I think, but all European countries and developed countries, you don't need visa to come here. And American countries, all these countries, you don't need visa here. So you can still make it if you want to. Just go and register on sundayadelaijablog.com/HMT. If you want to join the mentorship program as well, go to the same blog, sundayadelaijablog.com/mentorship. Or if you want to also get my books, you can get them on Amazon, but you can also get them on sundayadelaijablog.com/books. And if you want to be receiving my messages every day, we can be sending those messages to you also by WhatsApp. Just send your numbers to us or the number of your friends, and we'll be sending messages to you. And our number is +38 098 596 3838. +38 098 596 3838. So you can send your number to us, and we will be sending messages to you. Yes, the show is one knock. Okay, that is one knock. So I think we still have a caller or two before we go, and then because this program has been very engaging, even though I'm supposed to be starting my next program now. That is the series on how to know God through the Holy Ghost or through the Holy Spirit. But we are going to come a bit late today again because this has been really engaging. And then the series that we have been talking about is on YouTube. If you just look for Sunday Adelaja family series, you have so much information there. You will be. I think you can devote 2-3 months just to that, to listen to those series.
Good evening,
it's going to be mind-blowing revelation for you. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Noeline.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
How are you doing today?
I thank God.
So what is your own position? To endure and be patient, or to walk out like the last caller said?
Yeah, when it comes to life and death, I will ask you to run. Run as far as your leg can carry you. Because it's only somebody that is alive will tell the story. A lot has died and not telling what they went through. It's only somebody that is alive that can relate to what has happened. Yeah, I've been lone parents more than 20 years now. Well, because I've married twice. And unfortunately, the so-called lady that's supposed to be my polygamous or second married wife is dead. But I'm still alive. So if I haven't left, maybe I would have died before her.
Oh, wow.
Because a man wanted to marry 2 wives and he didn't tell me he has one already and pretended he hasn't married before. So he wants to use me as second wedded wife. So I decided not to be a polygamous wife and left. And when I was leaving, I wasn't thinking of anything. The only song that normally sing in my heart is the grace of God. The Bible said they are new every morning.
But what about
the faithfulness of God?
But you are not afraid of how you as a single lady will take care of 2 children?
Not at all. Not in my life. Then I only have a daughter anyway, but I never thought of anything about it. I never thought of whether we will eat. I'll prefer to die hungry, being alone in a desert, than being in that family. I would have preferred to step out of that house and die, but not dying in that family. So when it comes to life and death, I will ask the person to run. If you know God at all, just run for your life. Because when you are alive, you will be able to tell your story. No dead man can tell you what I'm telling you now. So maybe the lady that was talking about patience doesn't know what life and death threat is. When you know what life and death threat is, you will try to live and not to die.
Wow.
So that's all I want to say. So maybe her case is mad and she's talking of patience. When you see that death is on your foot, I think you will jump the fire and run away.
Wow.
Yeah, so at the
But
end
she was
of the
talking.
day, I'm alive.
But what she
And
was talking is
the so-called lady is dead.
no. But
So
what she
that's
was
something
talking.
to praise God for.
What she
And
was.
I'm still happy I'm alive. I can tell the tales. I can tell people what I went through, but she can never tell the people what she went through because she's dead.
But what Grace was
And when
talking
somebody
about.
who didn't tell you about second marriage will come, you went to an occasion and somebody is saying, oh, I thank God I have two, when one is not in and another is. Did you tell the second one you have one already? So
But
that
what?
day I feel like if this ground can open and I disappear, because you are boasting of having two wives, but you didn't tell me that you wanted two wives and you want me to be second married wife.
But
So I
what?
said, okay, if you want to have two wives, I won't be part of it, I'm sorry. And that's how I ended the whole story.
But what
I
Grace?
have a daughter. My daughter is doing well. She's 26 this year. So maybe if I was there, she would have a mother. And she might not even be in Britain.
But what Grace was talking about is to look that you should look at the example of Jesus.
Well, I believe Jesus has his own cross. He said, carry your cross and follow me. He didn't say take my cross. He said carry your own cross and follow me. I can only carry my cross and follow him. I will never take his cross because it will be too much for me to bear. When John, whether the mother asks or they ask, he said, can you drink the cup I drink? Can you be on my shoe? The answer is no. You can never be in somebody's shoe. You can wish, you can pray, but you can never be. I can never be in Jesus' shoe because it's meant for him.
But Jesus endured and suffered and then got the victory. That's what Grace was trying to say.
Exactly. Because it's meant for him to do that. John the Baptist was meant to do what he did. Moses was meant to do what he did. They all did their own bit as it pleases God. So I cannot be in somebody's shoe. I will not even pray to be in somebody's shoe. I can only carry my own cross and follow him.
So you are saying that if it's a life and death situation, the lady should take and run for her life.
Whether a lady, whether a man, or I don't know, whoever saw his life and death in front of him, you should choose life.
You are a straight talker, eh?
It's not about whether it's a lady or a man. I'm talking about a human being who is in a position and seeing your life and death in front of you. If you know that this is life or death, you better choose life and run away. At the end of the day, when you leave, you can reconcile if it's possible. If not, to God be the glory. When you get there, you answer your bit. If you have opportunity to ask and answer, you can. But when you are dead and gone, unless you know God, you are going to him. If not, you go to hell. You won't even have opportunity to ask the question and answer. So I prefer to live and glorify God than to die when it's somebody that I want to kill me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Neolene. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Brilliant.
Right.
Wow. That is quite straightforward. But women are always hesitant because they are afraid and they have a lot of questions in their mind. You know, when will I, who will take me now? Who will now marry me with 2 children or with 3 children? Or I'm no more young, I am already 30-something, or I'm 40, and where will I go? You know, I don't have a house. I don't make my, you know, I will not go back to my parents' house. It's going to be a shame. And I heard that in some parts of Nigeria, if you leave your husband's place, that your parents have to return the dowry or bride price that they pay. So a lot of complication. That's why women stay back. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma. Who is calling from where?
Now, Mercy.
From?
Mercy, where they France? Mercy, France.
Yes. How are you, Mercy? It's been a while. You've not called a long time.
No, the first time when they call you.
Oh, you are calling for the first time?
Yes, sir, because this program, it really entered my head. So, it can't be say what when I really discuss, it touched me well.
Na so.
Because make we really talk this matter. You see, this matter, where would they talk? See, many people don't talk their own. Now I can say, one way see them, my make I see talk, one way be say they have.
Okay.
You see, every woman that they say, many women will call, all of them say, make we, they support one way be say, many of them support say, make we they come out.
Yes.
If something that they hot, no make we they come on, make we not just, they know, now only one sister can come and say, make we see use Jesus method.
Yes.
Say apply. But he can't say, but what if they don't listen to me? Say, he sit talk and say, if now for one way be say that they fight, say now one way be say this thing, the domestic violence day, say make we come out.
Yes.
Make we not stay.
Yeah.
That one me really support her. If it be say husband and wife get together, say that they fight, me not support that one. That one feel keep person, you know. If it can't be say fighting all day.
Yes.
At least make we see they endure something now.
Okay, what about if the other woman said if the man is just going with every other woman in the street, but there is no fight?
See, make we go to the book of Solomon. Make we go use that one play. Nobody they read.
Solomon had 1,000 now.
You know, say when we pray, it gets some Bible we still use pray for there. You understand? When we say, may God, people don't know say God get power to seize person sexual urge. Now make that they do like that. Okay. If you are really married, husband, that husband they there. We say go pray, say God, I bet my husband they waka waka. They follow many women up and down. You say one, what God has joined together, maybe say nobody will put a son down.
Yes.
God, I bet make use my husband. Sexual. People don't know say God get power. God get power well.
Okay.
Even walk past Papalawo.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
God will do one. If we really be say we not they cheat on our husband, say we really they clean because God like waiting clean.
Okay.
We not they put ororo join water where it clean. So, Augusta, see, God will really do it for us. He will be say our husband, you know what they do him again. You know, if you even go meet another woman, you know what work for her. You know what even get up.
Okay.
You understand? So make we be say we women nowadays we don't just take nonsense for any man at all. If man just do something, we don't kind of go meet our friends. And our friends, some of our friends, people they don't know God, they will come advise us back, say, I beg, not just if you do like this, if you talk one, talk three. Women now they rule the world. You say, oh God, that thing, tell now women they rule the world. You don't they scatter home.
Wow.
Women will come to be say they want they reign under their husband now. If their husband talk 3, they will talk 4. But when I listen to your marriage series, it not be like that, oh.
Yeah.
I hear many things when you talk, say, you know, good, make woman. Maybe say, only woman, they take care of children.
Yeah.
Because my mama, when they home, he ain't really patient for my papa body. Now make us see, we sit there together. You know, good, make women see the thing, say, if they and their husband separate, now the children are they suffer around.
Yeah.
Because children will come they scatter. You know, come be say they together, they take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, our sister will be say it happen to run. I really take sympathy with her. But I want maybe say women, may we see they bring ourselves down for our husband. Maybe not they use the power of the world. Because God first create Adam before He create woman.
Yes.
Now when we say we want right on top of man, we want control home, we want be the man. Not be so, not be God take do am.
Wow.
Hear me, August.
Wow.
Not be so God take do am. God do am when we say, may we see 50-50, not be say we will just be like this thing wey don die, paper wey no dey work again. No, he say at least make we see dey moderate.
Patience.
Make we see dey patient, because this one wey be say woman, your husband will even say, hey, you don't talk am, don't finish the man. I no just like that kind of thing. Because some women nowadays they use man as tire person. They will say their husband, no, they try, they try for here, they complain. So you know, even now they say, this one they complain about their husband to anybody wanna see, where be say not they fear God. They will spell on their mind though, because they don't will tell now to say now person when they fear God, now it good make you carry your matter to. It will tell you the truth, like Sunday Adelaja, he will tell you truth. Add Ororo join water way clean, give you say na water. He will tell you say na water, and na water na him because he dey fear God. So Ghana don't be my contribution. Say make we see the enjoy small. But if you be say your husband say he dey fight, he dey sabi blow, he dey do you like bossa, make you run oh. Because not be him go tell learn bossa. Not be you go tell learn how to do bossing. Now that one na me I see for inside.
Okay.
I beg women, I tell God beg una beg. Now him I dey for here. Make we dey endure. I beg.
Okay.
If anything they have you, we don't get oga like Sunday Adelaja. When we say he dey sabi help person, they advise you, will give you bad advice. Advice when he advise you, go listen to a message, how to raise family. Marriage, buy a book, one of a book when he talk about marriage. Are you ready? Lady, he tell what he can put. We'll see the book in the advertiser. Say that book, Mona see go take on now. Una will understand. Waiting they talk about. Not be more marriage, not be for small children.
Yes.
Marriage,
Yes.
if person be say it's a bit the best something. If you don't know how to, they don't feel married. You know go fit oh. Because you won't bear something, you won't bear pay for you. It was that Jesus Christ not bear our pain. We for them libre today. That time we say they won't kill now. When we say he go pray, blood angel come appear to them. He can't they say, oh, that time we say the thing they do and they fear. People like say he can't they sorrowful. He can't say I don't want again, I don't die for these people again. I'm tired. He can't go miss it that that gift was Satan promise and he can't accept them. Today we are waiting for happen to us. Who for save us?
Wow.
May we see the pain. May we see the enjoy pain. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercy. That's Mercy from France. Thank you. All right. You see, the two different opinions. Mercy is of the opinion that we have to wait and be there unless your life is being threatened. But if your husband is unfaithful, that is not a reason enough for you to divorce or walk away. The language she was speaking is our local English. It's called Creole or broken English. So that is that is being spoken there. So anyway, I think we couldn't get Pat back. I don't know, but we have to be grateful to her. I think you saw her contact and her information. You can get in touch with her. So you can get in touch with her. We already showed that information to you. And of course, congratulations to all of you that the book is out already, The Plague of Silence. And I'm so glad that this book came out for this topic, The Plague of Silence. That is what is killing everything. One of the reasons that is responsible for all the troubles in the world is because of that plague of silence. If you can fix the plague of silence, and most of the questions in this world will be fixed. So go get your own copy. Just 1 week is going to be, today is Saturday, till the next Saturday it will be available, or till the next Friday it will be available for $2. But from Saturday it will be $20. So get it on Amazon, Amazon and on Kindle, I guess. So thank you so much. I will be back in the next 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to continue the series on how to know God and how to know God through the Holy Spirit. How to know God through the Holy Spirit. So thank you so much. And tomorrow, I'm so sorry for today. Today I was answering the questions on my attitude to my style and my methods. And so then the system just collapsed. The system broke down. Maybe internet or the system, something happened. But we are going to continue tomorrow evening at this time. So 5 o'clock British time tomorrow, I'm going to continue to answer the questions about all the controversies about my method and my style. Why do I confront the Jews? Why do I talk and call names? Why do I show videos? So all the questions that they have in that regards, I will be answering them tomorrow evening about this time, 7 o'clock our time and 5 o'clock British time. So that's tomorrow. But before then, I will see you tonight in the next 10, 15 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone.